So apparently tonight, Senor San Clarcos, if somebody's watching my channel, she'll find that funny. She'll remember that. Tonight, Senor San Clarcos really wants to push his luck. By Senor San Clarcos, of course, I mean myself. Earlier today, I talked about Dr. Marcola and how he was being harassed by CNN over his opinion. And today, right now, I'm going to talk about Harvey Weinstein. Okay. Well, it's actually about the Me Too movement and Rose McGowan more than it is Harvey Weinstein in a way, or is it? Or is it more about Harvey Weinstein? We'll find out. The best thing that happened out of the Me Too movement, I think a lot of these women coming out, Me Too, Me Too, Me Too, Me 3, Me 4, Me 5, Me 6, I think a lot of it is baloney, okay? But regarding the Rose McGowan, Harvey Weinstein situation, what that did for gang stalking victims is it exposed one group of people that's behind it, and that would be the Israeli Mossad. Now, a lot of us in the, I'm not really in that community anymore, but years ago when I was in a certain community of certain people that look like this, that, hang out together and be like, yo, what up, white boy? Yo, what up, cracker? Cracker. Yeah, that's actually how we talk in private. Black people don't know that. We secretly talk like that in private. It's how we introduce each other. We're like, yo, what up, cracker? High five, cracker. Oh, too slow, cracker. That's how we talk to one another. But watch my video. We'll get taken down for racial slurs. That's going to be hilarious. But but what it exposed was Harvey Weinstein's use of the Israeli Mossad against Rose McGowan and other accusers to silence them. Now, what I was saying is many of us in that community were aware of this for years, or at least suspicious of it, especially online. I've gotten in countless arguments back when you could post things to Facebook. I've gotten in countless arguments with people that were obviously Israeli people being paid to shoot down any criticism of Israel. And one of the things that was funny is but they now they own the platforms. Now they take care of it by just shutting down your account. One of the things I got my account banned for in the past, I don't have a Facebook or Twitter account now, but one of the things it was banned for the one time was I had posted a lecture by one of the victims of the USS Liberty attack. In case people don't know what that is, that's when the Israeli Air Force attacked our sailors and Marines and NSA agents in Israel, and they tried to blame it on Egypt. And it didn't turn out that way. Another thing I got banned, I think it was in the same thing, was the Lavon affair. I pointed that out. What people don't know what that is, they can look it up. The Jonathan Pollard situation, where an Israeli-American spy basically was stealing our secrets about Arab troop movements and gave them to Israel, he was working for the NSA. He was a contractor. He was such a danger to the United States that the Jewish head of the CIA under President George W. Bush stated that he was the most dangerous person ever in the history of U.S. intelligence. Now, there was a lot of suspicion. And it's hard to find stuff on the internet anymore, but it was suspected. There used to be proof. I can't find it on the internet anymore, but if I do, I might. If I do, it will be in the description. But the Central Intelligence Agency and NSA had determined that there were far more Israeli Mossad spies in the United States than there had ever been even Soviet spies in the United States. In Iran, the Mossad has infiltrated the highest levels of intelligence in Iran, according to certain Iranian officials. that they say they can no longer trust what's going on there. And this is just a way that they do things. But what was so interesting about the Me Too movement and Rose McGowan was what was uncovered is Weinstein's use of Mossad intimidators, which practiced similar methods as what many targeted individuals of gang stalking experience. Now, I had suspected for a long time that the people harassing me in real life have been hired because I don't recognize them, okay? And the stuff that happens, like, undoing the threshold of my door and moving things around in my apartment and making things disappear and reappear in my apartment and that were in plain sight, that is the tactics used by certain spy agencies, particularly the KGB and the USSR would do that to make people think they were going crazy. And that is something that I think is obviously going to be borrowed by people that are members of a country that is so affiliated with the USSR. Remember, Israel was very much... Now, Israel and the USSR were frenemies for a very long time. Yes, that's where that word actually came from. Frenemy, I'm just joking, but that's probably where it came from, to discuss the nature of the relationship between the USSR and Israel. It was frenemies, I would assume. But ultimately, some of the tactics used are very similar to those of the KGB. Now, I'm not saying that I'm being spied on by the Israeli government or anything of that nature. But what it seems to be is that in the Me Too cases that was uncovered, it seems like I had proposed that there are certain people that are probably available over the dark web and things of that nature that are intimidators for hire. And they probably do more than intimidate. And you'll see in my playlist, it's a small playlist of real gang stalking incidents. This stuff is definitely real, and it is actually happening, and it's actually documented in many cases. The problem is the police don't want to do anything about it because it's not easily solvable, I think, is the issue. And I think that's the biggest issue. But what I will say is I think the Me Too movement, as ridiculous as the Me Too movement was, in my opinion, it blew the lid off of this. But what's remarkable is you don't hear anybody talking about foreign agents of a foreign government threatening, intimidating, and harassing U.S. citizens. Why is that? That would be a very good question. I think we all know why. But I don't think that we're going to get a straight answer from the political class or the whatever the. But it also shows a great enmeshment with Hollywood and the Mossad. So all this idea, a lot of people have suspected that there's a lot of anti-American, anti-white, anti-Gentile propaganda coming out of Hollywood. I think that what you'll find if you look deeper is a lot of Hollywood movies are actually Mossad operations. And what do I mean by that? I think that a lot of Hollywood movies, especially the ones about the Holocaust and things like that, are geared toward making the American people feel guilty to suck the money out of this country. I think that goes without saying. I think it's very easy to see that if you're not a brain-dead idiot. But I didn't even suspect a Mossad link before the Weinstein connection to the Mossad. Now I do. But I didn't expect an actual Israeli. I just thought it was people like Steven Spielberg were just so in love with Israel that they had to make movies that were geared like that. But it turns out, no, it does seem like there is a real connection between the two. Between Hollywood and the Mossad. And that's all for this video.